Hey world, and welcome to my August wrap up, which I am filming really late. No excuses, no explanations. It's October now, and yes, I am also filming my September wrap up right after this, but they will be two separate videos. Yes. Now that that's said, this is my August wrap up, and yeah, let's just get right into it. The first book I read in August was 84 Charing Cross Road by Hanff. Now, this is like the holy grail of bookshop books. Every bookseller, every book person has read this book and loves this book. And for some reason I've always heard of it, I've always known that this was like beloved by the book family, and I've never actually picked it up. I finally did. And I was really disappointed. Oh. I'm honestly kind of scared to admit this because it is such a beloved book. It's so like big in the book community and in the bookshop world. And yeah, it's cute, it's sweet, it's the letters between a reader and a bookshop of her like wanting special books and them sending them to her. Like, it's a cute story, but like, first of all, there's a lot of letters missing. A lot of letters missing. And that made me really angry. Like, just there's such huge just gaps, like years missing. And then the next letter references something that was said in the last letter, but we don't have the last letter, and it's really infuriating. It made me really angry because I felt like I was missing most of the story. And then again, like, it's basically just book orders. Let's be real here. Like, yes, it's a cute story and they do develop a friendship, but it's just book orders with some side stories. I have this on a daily. I work as a bookseller. I get this a lot. I don't need to read a book about it, especially if it's missing a lot. I'm really sorry to everyone who loves this book so much, which apparently is everyone else who's ever read it. I was really disappointed. I don't see why it's such a big deal. I've read way better books about bookshops, and I'm gonna stop talking about it now. Instead, I'm gonna talk about a book I really enjoyed, which is Alicia Cook's poetry collection, Sorry I Haven't Texted You Back. I love Alicia Cook. I think she is so talented and so honest and raw in her poetry, and especially what's really cool, what I also found really cool in her first collection, Stuff I've Been Feeling Lately. The first half of the book is like normal poetry, and then the second half of the book is her going back to her own poetry and making blackout poems of them, of kind of like looking back at it now a little bit later and reflecting what the poem is about now and what she feels about it now, and then making blackout poetry of her own poetry. And so it's like a collection of two sides, and I really enjoy that. There's a lot of heartbreak and moving on, and it felt like so nice to go through it, and just, yeah, she's just really good, and it's so creative the way she does it, and yeah, Alicia Cook is really cool. I'm also gonna quickly mention that I obviously read the next part of the manga series Ein Gefühl, Namens Liebe. This is part 9. Not gonna get into it because I've talked about it every time I've read it. I just still really love this story. It's a really cute manga, and obviously I'm gonna keep reading it. I also read part 2 of the manga Insomniacs After School. This is also a really cute story. We are quite at the beginning still, but basically we have these two students who are insomniacs. They can't sleep at night, and in the first part they kind of like make up these like mock club of astronomy in the astronomy tower at school, and they kind of like fake being an astronomy club in order to use the tower that no one else uses to sleep during the day at school. Which is just, it's a really bizarre concept, but it's really adorable. And yeah, just, it spoke to me as an insomniac myself. What can I say? And now in the second part we get some more characters, some more development. I think there's gonna be a love story. I could do without that, but I see the appeal, like the two of them are really cute together, so I don't mind it, I just wouldn't necessarily need it. But yeah, it's just a really sweet story. There's just a lot of like talk of how to live your life and how to grow up and how to be your own person and just relationships with other people. And yeah, it's a really cute, nice story. It's cute. I also read Pride, which is kind of a collection of the history of the queer community, basically. It's kind of made for kids. I say kind of because the facts are still the facts, but it's like really colorful and like an easy overview and just like the basics, I guess, of queer history. But there's also a lot of like people I've never heard of and specific moments in queer history that aren't talked about much. And yeah, it's a really nice overview. I really enjoyed getting into it, and obviously it's quite a short thing and it is like illustrated a lot, so you don't get everything, obviously. But I think it's a really nice point to start with and to get an overview and to see like, I think my favorite pages were like people of a specific group that are queer. So there's like queer actors, queer politicians, queer scientists, queer authors, like kind of that stuff. And then when you're interested in one of them, you can go into that person or that field and like study up on it, read up on it, learn more about queer history. But I thought this was like a really, really nice overview, and it's also just really well done. I also picked up this cute tiny little book. This is Tiny Love Stories by Daniel Jones in Majorly, I think. Basically this was a column in the New York Times, and people could just send in their love stories, and this was romantic love stories, but it was also parent-children, it was siblings, it was friends, it was, I think there was like a dog story at some point, and it's quite difficult to explain it because it's so diverse, there's so many stories, and most of them are really cute because they are love stories, but there's also a lot of like heartbreak, death, grief, yeah, struggling with self-love, even like that kind of stuff. So it's not always happy, it's not always positive. I wouldn't, like, it looks so cute and sweet, but I think that doesn't really sum it up well. But it's so nice, like the diversity of stories, of people who found each other, of families who are reunited. Just, there's so much love in this world. Like, that sounds so stupid, obviously, like, but just reading this, and there's like little illustrations every now and then, and even pictures of the people who send it in every now and then. Just, there's so much love in this world, and yeah, it was cute. And then I read King of Stars. If you haven't realized, I've been using this year to read the entire Giese world series, I guess, by Bardougo, and I'm really close to the end. Well, hopefully not, hopefully there will be more, but I'm very close to the end of what we have now. There's only Wool of Wolves left, and I really, really love this book. It has one of my favorite characters of all time. And then the ending. I'm generally getting teary eyes. What the fuck? This ending is not okay. It's just not okay. First of all, because of sad favorite character who, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, I'm not okay with that. I'm not accepting the ending of this as canon, and therefore I am pushing Wool of Wolves away from me for a little bit, because I don't want to see where this goes. I'm really not okay with this. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a little time off from the series before I return to Rule of Rules, and then we'll see what I think. But yeah, before the ending, I really, really enjoyed this book. The characters are so well done. The world building is just mwah, chef's kiss, getting better and better. Like, it's so difficult as a fantasy author to stay in your world and still make it better and more interesting and like find new plot lines and stuff like that. And I think she did a really good job in this. The world building is just so well done. The way she like goes further into it and also uses that to go further into the backstories of the characters and their developments and their relationships with each other. Like, it's so well done, so well done. Bardougo is just a mastermind, and this series is so freaking good. But I cannot handle the ending of this, so I'm gonna stop talking about it now and tell you about the last book I read in August, which was another poetry collection, Die Welt in Deinen Augen by Julia Engelmann. Julia Engelmann is an established German poetry slammer, I guess, by now. And I've read all of her poetry collections, and obviously I've also read the new one. I still really enjoyed it. I think she's getting kind of repetitive in some parts. I'm getting the feeling that maybe she's forcing herself to stay in her lane, and there were like little parts of some poems where I thought she was gonna explore something new, but then she didn't. And I'm really hoping that maybe she will in the next collection. I think she has a beautiful way with words, and she has a beautiful way of capturing feelings that I think everyone feels, but not everyone realizes they feel. A lot of her poems are moments for me where I realized, shit, this is exactly what I've been feeling, and I just didn't realize, I didn't know how to think it, how to formulate it, and she just does it really well. So I'm gonna continue reading her poetry. I really, really enjoyed it. I just hope that she doesn't stagnate, I guess. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's next for her, and hopefully it'll be like, hopefully she'll allow herself to explore some new things. So yeah, those are the books I read in August. Not much, but I had a good time with it, and I really enjoyed the reading month. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will now film my September wrap-up, so I hope you enjoy that one as well. And I hope you always have a reason to smile, and I shall see you soon. Bye!